Introduction. My name is Malachi Burgess, and I am working with Medina, Lozano, and Maria Hamilton. Our topic involved one of the world's current largest issues, preventing nuclear terror. Nuclear power not only brings upon obvious threats imposed by direct impact, but also long-lasting after effects caused by radiation, capable of destroying ecosystems. This problem has been on the rise since the Cold War, as it was seen to be a competition for who could stockpile the most weapons and the strongest weapons. This had led to a rapid growth in black market dealing for technology and raw material throughout terrorist groups and other small Taliban and militia-like groups, as well as more countries being equipped to use these weapons for mass destruction. By allowing these weapons to spread across the entire world, we offer more opportunities for these countries to eventually see a need to use them. The picture on the right will show our Wyoming in the US, one of the bases that we have with multiple warheads already set up. Aside from maintaining our current livelihood and providing for future generations, why it matters is honestly quite obvious. Solving this issue brings upon many positive benefits, such as stopping world terror, preventing global warming, preventing nuclear radiation throughout ecosystems, and likely saving thousands of human lives from battle. As we know, in the past, over 100,000 people have been lost to nuclear bombs, just based off of the original impact. However, failure to secure this issue leads to possible extinction across races, hostile relations between countries, irradiated food and water supply, and various other problems. This issue is luckily still controllable. However, failure to do so could be crucial or even fatal. On the right, you'll see a picture that'll show the ranges of the direct contact from a nuclear missile back to the radiation, to the air blast, to the thermal radiation. As you can see, multiple facets of society would be well affected.
We're going to reflect on the past to answer the question, what has already been done in an effort to prevent nuclear terror? These efforts have been focused on agreements called non-proliferation treaties, which involve states that agree to not develop nuclear weapons if they had already not developed weapons. And for states that had already developed nuclear weapons, they needed to make an effort to gain control and disarm nuclear weapons that were out there to reduce the number in existence, which is really important to reducing the threat. Another strategy that's been used is having guidelines for testing and transport of material that can be used to create nuclear weapons. So there's guidelines on how many tests can be run and what type of security needs to surround these fissile materials. The state of the technology today has advanced. We still continue to use those treaties as a method of deterrent for nuclear weapons, but we are also developing nuclear forensics that would allow us to trace the origin of where missing or stolen material came from, or in the aftermath of an event, we would be able to trace the origin of where that came from. And this is a very strong deterrent to a country to use that force, knowing that it could be identified and traced back to them. Another technology that's being used today is nuclear radiation detection devices, which is your image on the right. And these are used at entry ports into the United States to detect nuclear material. The majority of these devices are able to detect plutonium. However, a big threat is highly enhanced uranium, and these are less available, and it's thought that more than likely this is the material that would be used to create a bomb and making it easier. So that is definitely an area of improvement.
Some problems that are still currently being worked on are for example, the protection and prevention of the use of nuclear weapons. and the effects of nuclear waste on agriculture. So even though at the moment we do have treaties and regulations that are in place, this does not prevent that there is an accidental detonation of a nuclear weapon or that there is a nuclear weapon fired. With tensions growing in many places of the world, it is plausible that a nuclear weapon could be used. With this in mind, a great concern is the effects of nuclear waste on our land and on our agriculture. Using Chernobyl as an example, the land there is not viable for us to grow our food or for us to stay in because of the radiation. A promising solution to this is a plant called the Jimson weed. This plant is normally considered a hallucinogenic and has shown some promise in being a solution to this problem. It shows, after some research that has been done to it, it showed that it can absorb and digest nuclear waste. And as engineers, we can strive to find a solution to this problem using this plant, since it would benefit everybody.
Some unintended consequences to developing these types of technologies that can detect and disarm nuclear weapons is it may increase the desire of countries to strengthen their development systems, circumventing those new technologies, and then increasing their budgets towards these developments. Another unintended consequence in the way of nuclear forensics is if there's that error in origin determination, it can lead to two pretty catastrophic things. If a country is wrongfully accused of this massive nuclear terror, they could be wrongfully targeted. And in addition, then there's no consequences to the true perpetrator, and it opens up the potential for further damage from them because they weren't caught.
Nuclear terror has been a concern for our security and our well-being. Not being prepared for these situations can lead to our demise. We have learned about the non-proliferation treaties, which are in place to not build nuclear weapons and to gain control and disarm them. The development of nuclear forensics, which can trace where materials came from, which is a good deterrent in using nuclear weapons. Focusing on the future, we still need to find ways to fix the aftermath of a detonation. The prevention of nuclear terror is an important fight we must join. The aftermath of a detonation can be devastating to our planet and to humanity.